This week's blog post is my 6th in the series visiting the Wadsworth Atheneum. The introduction to this series, which is about the Wadsworth family and the Wadsworth Atheneum, is on my website, and there's also a link to all the posts in the series. This week's post continues the galleries that are devoted to the Hudson River School and related paintings. This one is by Bierstadt, and it's called the Hetch Hetchy Valley, 1874 to 1880. It's another breathtaking view of the West by Bierstadt, who specialized in those. I've given you links to several others. The Hetch Hetchy Valley, whose name means edible grasses, magpie, or possibly Valley of Two Trees, was famous in the late 19th and early 20th centuries for its beauty and for its mosquitoes. Bierstadt did not paint photographically accurate reproductions of particular scenes, so chances are you never could have seen this view. And you certainly can't now, because in 1923 the Hetch Hetchy Valley was submerged in a reservoir that now provides water for San Francisco. Next up, Cavalry Trooper on Horseback, 1890. Frederick Remington, 1861 to 1909, was born in upstate New York. His ancestors fought in the French and Indian War, the American Revolution, the War of 1812, and the Civil War. His cousin founded the Remington Arms Company. An only child who loved to hunt, swim, ride, and go camping, he began drawing while young and studied to be a journalist and illustrator. In 1880, he took the first of many trips to the West. Unlike later illustrators, he saw the West while it was still wild, and he portrayed it vividly. Here he shows a member of the U.S. Cavalry, a military force in the West that protected settlers from Indian attacks. For more on Remington's short but vivid life, I've given you a link to a Wikipedia article. Next up, Time is Money, 1894. The alarm clock and the stack of money seem balanced on the arm of a scale. This is a trompe-l'oeil work, painted with meticulous care to fool the eye into thinking that you're seeing actual objects rather than oil on canvas. The Wadsworth's label notes that the phrase "time is money" was coined by Benjamin Franklin for Poor Richard's Almanac, published in the 1730s and 40s. But the phrase gained special popularity after the Civil War, when rebuilding the country demanded efficiency in the workplace. Aside from painting landscapes and trompe-l'oeil paintings, Ferdinand Danton Jr., 1877 to 1939, also made a practice of copying works by early American artists such as Gilbert Stuart. He was eventually sent to jail for forgery. Next up, The Bronco Buster, 1895. Frederick Remington is among the few artists who could sculpt as well as paint. Here he portrays a lone hero of a different sort from his cavalry man. The work was innovative because it shows the horse rearing on its hind legs and shows the cowboy's fierce tension as he hangs on. And finally, A View in Cuernavaca, Mexico, by Frederick Church, done around 1898 to 1900. Church, who died in 1900, became the most famous of the Hudson River School painters after Thomas Cole died in 1848. By the 1860s, he was America's most famous painter. I've given you links to some other works. When he was in his 40s, Church began to suffer from degenerative rheumatoid arthritis in his hands. In an attempt to get relief, he spent winters not in Olana, his beautiful home on the Hudson River, but in the warmth of Mexico. There he painted picturesque ruins such as this one. By this time, arthritis had crippled him so that he could no longer paint the spectacular huge canvases for which he was famous. Some of them were 8 by 9 feet in size. A View in Cuernavaca is on a much smaller scale, 25 by 31 inches. When Church died in 1900, his work was considered old-fashioned. Impressionism and a host of other isms had caught the public fancy. Next week we will have a slight variation, some Wadsworth paintings and some others that set the context for them. DianeDurantewriter.com has hundreds of posts on sculpture, painting, and my many other obsessions. To join the free Sunday Recommendations email list, visit the URL that's on the screen or email me. And you can say "Well done, Diane," or support my work and receive rewards by means of the tip jar on DianeDurantewriter.com. Thanks as always for listening.